No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists, like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.
Let's talk about some principles which we lay as a foundation behind the concepts of the Sound Espressivo. We revised the concept of a competition. We went section by section, concept by concept, component by component, with this ideas in mind and how to put them to work. First of all, diversity. When we speak of diversity, immediately we speak about acceptance of people of different inheritance, different heritage, different countries, different differences. Now, when we put the same concept to our lives and our work as artists, it becomes a little bit less clear. What is diversity anyway for us as artists? Another concept which was put as a foundation for Sound Espressivo and each element in the competition is inclusivity. Again, inclusivity and diversity, those are similar concepts in the same family of ideas and philosophies. But again, as we go forward with our deeds, with our actions, with our projects, how do we make inclusivity work within the framework of a project? Each element of Sound Espressivo competition, at least we tried to, expresses those concepts through how and what we offer to the teachers, to contestants, and to community of music lovers and everybody who is interested in musical arts.
We have a panel of 40 judges representing performing artists from all over the world, music educators and instrumentalists, conductors, composers. We have such a wide range of different judges, and we want to offer contestants an opportunity to perform live, in live broadcast. No sending recordings. I mean, you can send a recording in the preliminary audition, but everything else is live. And that's amazing, because you get to play live online, and it's broadcasted to people all over the world. And if you wanted to send it to your friends and family, they can watch it as well. It's really, really great. And we offer an incredible array of awards for musicians, from music managers to conservatory music festivals, masterclasses, recordings, and most importantly, an opportunity to engage with musicians, engage with others, whether they're your fellow competitors or jury members, or any of the music management that we have here. So we're really excited about this year's competition.
What I really want to encourage is, just as I would with a house concert, the groupie's house concert, where a musician might say, well, what should I play? You know, and I say, well, play what you really resonate with. Play what helps you tell a story. Play something that makes you feel connected to maybe how just that feeling of familiarity that from when you were even a child, and maybe your instrument, you know, you just felt like, this is me. This is something that feels like me. You know, what pieces, whether they're pieces that you could, maybe even pieces you've composed, but that allow you to create a sense of continuity between the deepest connection you have to your art and being able to share that in a way that, you feel like really embodies just your love of your craft and your gratitude for it. And if you share that, then I'll probably be inspired.
What I would say to contestants is that I know competitions seem to be a platform for, in effect, showing off. But don't think about impressing. Think about revealing yourself. Don't think about the competition as the end of a learning process. The competition in itself is a learning process. And if you have an engagement with your art and you have the humility to understand that every performance is a learning process, and you have the ability to reveal yourself as an active, engaging, learning artist, even in the process of performing, then I think that's the kind of thing that will really strike a chord with the judges.
I just want to say that this period is not an easy one. It's a challenging one, but it's also offering a lot of opportunities. So I think we should embrace it, and we should not be afraid to stand still sometimes, or maybe we think that we stand still. But instead, we will have a lot of more time and dedication for the other things that we were not thinking of when we were still in, let's say, 2 years ago. So it's an opportunity. You should never let yourself leading by fear, and you should always remember that your trust is much bigger in whatever you do. So I would encourage you to use also that trust in what you are and what you believe in as a musician, to be authentic and express your musicality, the person you are online, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid that people will have an opinion about it, or that's not the goal. The goal is that you have confidence that whatever you present online is the best that you do at that moment, and that the people that watch you, they embrace you, they have confidence, and they really can help you to bring you to a different or a next level.
I have to confess something. I myself had an occasion to participate to a competition. It was very, very long ago, and internet didn't even exist. It was a competition for guitar, nothing special. And I didn't make it to get to the final. I didn't even make it to get to the semi-final. But I was very excited to participate. And the proof is that I still remember it. I found it a very big experience. And I noticed that also the audience was not so many people watching, but there were some, and the audience was also pretty much excited about this because will he make it or not? This was the question, at least about me. And of course, in the competition there were a lot of very talented musicians. So to the musicians, to the potential participants, I would say, don't hesitate. Throw yourself in, give it a try. It will be interesting. No matter how it goes, it would be very interesting. You will get an experience out of it. You will make yourself more rich as a musician, as a person. You will be able to communicate to a lot of people. And for sure, however it goes, you will be appreciated.
Music is not going anywhere. Music is what gives us life. It gives life to other people, and it's really one of the most important things that we have in this whole world. So, as a young artist, know that you are really important, and that you're not superfluous. I mean, it might seem that something that is more tangible is maybe better than music, but there's nothing better than music. You use your whole self. It's a physical activity like being a sportsman. It's a mental activity, being an analyst, so you can figure out all about the music. And most importantly, it's a soul and spiritual activity where you must go inside and see how you're made and see what you do want to express to the world. So don't let anybody put you down, so to speak. Oh, you'll never make a living as a cellist. You will, if you want. And it's one of the most important things that life has to offer and share. So keep it up, practice hard, hone your craft, and communicate with others.
Just, I guess one of the things that I would want everyone to focus is to be very truthful to your expression and to really try hard, but know that it's inch by inch and that you have to try one step at a time, and you keep going and you keep going, and that the can-do attitude in the face of adversity or misfortune or the difficulty is truly the key to success. And I feel that in competition circuit, it's very important to have that can-do attitude. Anything is possible, and that you can really aim to be the best that you can be. And once you reached what you think is the best, there's still even more place to grow, and there's always a place to grow. So all the best, and I look forward to hearing many of you on stage.
Actually, let me tell you a little bit about what you're about to hear. I'm doing the Chrysler cadenzas for the Beethoven, which I grew up with, and I probably because of that can't shake my preference for them. But these are proofs positive that Fritz Kreisler wasn't just a great violinist, but a really wonderful composer. You have the entire first movement of the concerto summarized in his cadenza to the first movement, where he doesn't just task the violinist with referencing the material from the movement, but with essentially doing what it took the entire orchestra to do in the course of the movement. So
Wow.
let's see if I can manage any of that.
Looking forward.
Oh, sorry, wrong concerto.
That was so fantastic. Thank you
Hang on.
so much for playing that for us.
Got to get my Princess Leia back on.
It does look like Princess Leia. That was fantastic. I loved it. And I loved how you held the tension of it for the whole cadenza. And that, amongst all the other technical things and bring on themes, I think one part of the cadenza that as musicians, you have to kind of hold the tension of the audience throughout the whole thing, right?
The cadenza was a chance for the musician to improvise, right? And although now I don't know anybody who would have the audacity to improvise, we have to still make it seem as though we're improvising. We have to essentially do a monologue on stage, let the audience into our train of thought, and the train of thought has to be very stream of consciousness. But coherent.
You nailed something that I think is quite interesting about a cadenza, and it's like a monologue. When you see in a movie and you know it's a monologue, or when you go to a theater and you see it's a monologue, suddenly everything just has to focus into that one person, that one moment, and it's a chance to. I don't think it's a chance to shine so much as a chance to really speak and say something, within the 3 to 4
original.
minutes.
What are you bringing to this thing that has existed for centuries?
Absolutely, and how can you bring in all the themes and other things that has happened so far and might happen later on, but mostly what's happened so far, and bring it into context of like not just the orchestra and what they're saying, but just what am I saying as a soloist? So what am I saying as a musician?
What is my personal take on this thing that, if you recite Hamlet's speech, this is reciting the commentary that is not in the script.
Yeah, and you refer to certain themes and you say, oh, remember that thing? Remember that thing that happened? This is how it all blends in. And of course,
I don't know if you noticed, for violinists, this is the thing that is drummed into us, and I don't know if the listeners noticed, but towards the end of the cadenza, Chrysler has this brainstorm that I don't remember any other composer or violinist composer having. He combines the two main themes. So he's got the and underneath it he has, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that any composer would say, well, of course, that's self-evident, but to a violinist it's not self-evident.
Do have a message. If you don't have anything to say, try to think. Try to find your message. Sometimes you will need to think just a few minutes. Sometimes you need to think many years to understand what you want to say to the people. Then, don't be afraid of judging you by other people. You don't play for judges. You don't play for people who don't like your music or don't like your art. You are playing to give a message to each person from your audience, even that if your audience will be thousands of people. Because, as I said, the element of the artist, work of art, and the receiver, this process belongs to just two people, one artist and one receiver of this process.
I would say just continue creating, always create no matter what. And also when you look to how to start your career, if that's what you're doing, or wherever you are in your career, I made the transition, and maybe you can make a similar transition, working really hard and waiting for great things to happen to working really hard and creating great things that can happen. And one of those is your participation in Sound Espressivo competition and all the other things that you will create in your life. Do it with passion and let the passion lead everything else.
There's really no downside to doing this. There's really no reason not to do this. There's nothing but benefit to be gained. And I promise we'll be kind and gentle to you, and encouraging and positive. Really, I would strongly encourage you to sign up for this. This is something that's on the cutting edge. And I think in later years, especially younger folks that are signing up for this, in later years, you're going to look back and say, gosh, I was at the ground level. I was at the launch of something that was pretty spectacular, a pretty wonderful moment in history. And I think you'll be really proud of that.
Hello, contestants. I wish you all the very, very best of luck in all your endeavors. Very, very pleased to be on the jury for this wonderful competition. I would like to assure you that you will be in a welcoming and very safe environment, and I think it's going to be enjoyable as opposed to most competitions. I think we're going to really enjoy ourselves. So just play what you love and just play your hearts out.
Oh, bravo, bravo. You're getting ovation here.
Yeah.
What a program to our judges now.
I think I'll start you out. Thank you so much, Sadie, for playing again. It was beautiful to hear you. I do want to say that the program was so exciting and beautiful to hear such extremely fluid playing and expressive playing. You really are using the flute like a tool of your expression. So congratulations for that. Not easy to do on such a high level. And I would say that all of the pieces that you played, I cannot imagine them more beautifully played. I would like to add in the Paganini that I do think that the highest notes of your flute playing, whether it is the proximity of the microphone or something that was a result of playing in this fashion, or if this is in your playing, a little bit more control on those high notes so that they aren't just spit out like that, so that they have a little bit more beauty, even though they're high and supposed to be a little bit more powerful. You can make them more rounded and lovely. But all in all, I thought your performance was excellent. Congratulations, and thank you for playing today.
We're doing stream form of the recitals because we currently just simply can't perform live any other way. But of course, we are not going to be locked up forever. How do you think we may benefit from adding this form of the recitals? I mean, by we, I mean musicians, students, music lovers, fans.
Well, I think there are a few ways. First, we could consider different weather maybe conditions even, because sometimes, especially in the winter, it can be nice rain or whatever, some kind of really bad weather. And instead of, let's say, postponing an event like this, we could have it online from time to time. And number two, we can invite more audiences to our live performances, streaming live performances within the studio. I think it might be very, very helpful.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you. This project was born out of this situation. We're all locked in, and we just didn't want to be locked in. We wanted to be connected, despite the fact that our physical doors of our houses are closed. But we're not going to be locked in forever. Do you feel there is any future potential of this project for the time when
I see, definitely, I do.
We're able to go back to our physical controls?
Absolutely. While listening to those performers, I even thought that wouldn't it be nice sometimes to stream our studio performances? Because it allows a lot of relatives to get involved, or maybe friends or classmates, whatever, and just be present where they cannot, because your studio, even if it's not very small, still cannot allow more people to enter, maybe 100, maybe even more. Yes, live sound is never compared to broadcasted sound, probably, but there are still pluses, like benefits of this performance. Definitely. And you can just type in something encouraging just on the go and send it to everybody. Yes. So there are benefits. Yeah, always there are pluses and minuses. I think it has definite potential.
Hi, my name is Ellen Wilkinson, and I'm a second-year undergraduate oboist at the Royal Academy of Music in London. My teacher, Melanie Ragg, suggested that I enter the Sounds Espressivo competition in November 2020, and I really enjoyed the experience. I was intrigued by the idea of a global online competition and thought the categories repertoire were very creative and forward-thinking. Mel knows that technology is not my strong suit, but by that point I'd had a term of online teaching and thought it would be a good opportunity to use those skills in a competition setting. It didn't come without its glitches, as in my performance my microphone transposed me down a semitone, but it was a good learning experience because I didn't know that that was possible. I really benefited from the feedback from professors around the world who I probably wouldn't have come into contact with otherwise. And overall, it was a great opportunity to polish my online performance skills. I will now play a section from Helen Grimes' Arachne for solo oboe, which tells the Greek myth of how the spider came into being.
Come on.
Wow. Wow. Impressive. Impressive. It's very impressive. Where are you from?
I'm from the U.S.
Yeah, but which state, which city?
Los Angeles, California.
Los Angeles. No, it's a great piece. It's a wonderful choice, especially given the period outgoing right now in the U.S. with the Black Lives Matter and such. It's a definitely great choice. I personally never heard it before, so it was a pleasure to hear it and pleasure to actually hear you play it. So very well done. Thank you.
So for today's first segment, I thought I'd show you a short video of the whole application process. Now, there are competitions out there, and I've just recently applied to one, where the application process takes a really long time. You've got to upload all your bio, you've got to upload all your recordings, who you studied with, most recent recordings, most recent concerts and ensembles, conductors you've met. It takes a really long time, and it's quite burdensome. But this competition, you'll be done in 2 minutes. I guarantee it's very quick, and it's designed that way. Why? It's designed that way so that you get your spot in, to just secure your position in the preliminary audition. But also, we want to get to know you first. And that's what the preliminary audition is about. We don't really need to know that much about your teacher, your background. We want to meet you. We want you as a musician, and we want to meet your playing and listen to you. And I think we think that's the most important thing. So that's why it's a very easy and simple application process. Now, what happens in a Sound Espressivo preliminary audition, right? And what makes this so special is that every audition and competition round, you have a judge who will listen to you live and give you live feedback. Right, just a few notes here and there. Oh, we loved it. That was great. You know, why don't you try a little bit of this and that? And then we'll write to you and say whether you've advanced into the semi-final round. And then it gets really interesting. And every audition and competition round, especially if you choose to do a live broadcast and do audition live, you'll get to meet a producer, director who will actually check your microphone, your speakers, your camera. So you get a little taste of what it is like to be on our streaming platform, our live broadcast. You meet a producer, director, you meet the judge, and you might even have a host as well to get you comfortable. So you get a little taste of what it's like to be a competitor, and then you might really like it. So without further ado, we're going to roll the application process video. Thank you, Ante. And we're going to show this process, and I'm going to give you some comments as we go. So this is what I did earlier, right? So there's a application form in soundespressivo.com, competition.com/application. You can choose a live broadcast performance, or you can choose a video submission. I've chosen a live broadcast performance. I've entered my name, and I've chosen a date. You have a whole array of dates from October 30th until the middle of December. And as you go on, if you choose a video submission, you can actually put your URL there, okay? And then you don't have to schedule your date. But you have your email there. That's mine if you want to send me any comments, suggestions. And you enter your time zone and your repertoire. Now, your preliminary round, there's a time limit, 10 minutes, okay? But that's not to negate the fact that if you get into the semi-final round and also the finals, there's no time limits. Okay, just the preliminary audition, there's a limit of 10 minutes, and that's just enough to give us a foretaste of what your playing is about. Now, what I've written here is definitely more than 10 minutes, but for your information, just 10 minutes. And I've chosen piano because I'm a pianist. You can also choose between competitive and non-competitive. If this is your first time competing or you're not comfortable, you can choose non-competitive. You still get feedback, you still get to experience our platform, and it's pretty great. So I've entered Ante, our producer, as our teacher. And of course, this is just a draft, so nothing too official here. You enter your email, you understand, click agree, and it's that simple. You press proceed to checkout, and you pay the application fee, and that's it, right? And so I've shown here a little bit of that process. You put in your details once more, just confirm that those are right, press continue, and that's it. Enter your payment method, right? And I'm not going to show you my credit card, so we'll stop there. So thank you, Ante. That's how easy it is. It takes around 2 to 3 minutes